Want to be heard, want to be heard. For those who don't know, I'm Pastor Jay, and this is my partner in time, my queen, my boo. Uh, I'll let her introduce herself.
I am Almeda, First Lady Al.
Yes, yes, First Lady and my only lady.
Come on.
Ah, there you
Yeah,
go.
make it plain, bro. Make it plain.
Oh man! And so we are here because we are lovers of marriage. We're lovers of
Yes.
covenant. We're lovers of the institution, the union of marriage, and we want to do our best to help as many who need it to find their best uh, relationships with their spouse. Just point blank, period. Just real
Right.
simple, real simple. We're not coming with a whole lot of new and unproven stuff. We're here to remind you
Right.
of some things that can get overlooked in the midst of life and living and bills and kids and all these things. And we just want you to come to an understanding that in spite of all of that,
Right.
that you can still love the one that you're with. All
It
right?
makes me think of your definition of excellence, doing the best you can on the level you're
On the
on.
level that you're
So we're
on.
going to talk marriage excellence.
Yeah.
You don't have to compare yourself to anybody else. You do the best you can on the level that you're on.
Can't nobody, my daddy said it like this, can't nobody beat you being you.
That's right. That's
Nobody
right.
can beat you being you, and nobody can beat you being you in your relationship,
Right.
in your marriage to your wife.
So true.
Oh man, so let's get started.
Well, Valentine's Day is Sunday.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
Sunday.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
Sunday, and so which is kind of why we're doing it this month. We started this month. This has always been something we wanted to do, and we've done it in certain instances and arenas, particularly in the church. We do a State of the Union, but we wanted to this month come and present this so that just to help marriages. I mean, in the midst of all of these pandemic protocols
Oh,
and all
my.
these things. As Dickens said, has been the best of times and the
And the
worst of
worst of
times.
times, yeah.
But in the midst of it, God still expects us to reflect His love
Yeah.
through our relationships
Right.
as husbands and wives.
And
So
contrary to popular opinion, people are still wanting to talk about this. While divorce rates may be high in certain areas and things like that, I believe that there's still a remnant of people who value marriage relationship, who value love, and they want to grow and they want to be better. But it's not always talked about in the practicality, that they're living. Sometimes it's these what is it, champagne wishes and caviar dreams kind of lifestyles of the rich and famous,
yeah,
reality shows and all kinds of things that we see. And just to be able to hear some down to earth, nuggets, things, takeaways is what we say all the time, things that I can really, really apply to my life, to my marriage, so that I can get to that place of doing the best I can on the level that I'm on.
exactly, exactly. So we're going to get started. I left my page. Can I look off your page?
Oh, of course.
Thank you, darling. You're so wonderful. You're so wonderful.
We had some notes we want to make sure we hit on tonight.
But just think, tonight's focus is, do you remember the time?
Okay.
And coming from, I thought about the Michael Jackson song,
Do you remember?
but it didn't have the same vibe that I wanted to
Okay.
relate this time. But we wanted to talk about remembering the origins of your love, remembering how you felt when you first saw your boo and you just knew. And so since we're coming up on I said Thanksgiving. Oh, hey.
Valentine's can be a time of
You
Thanksgiving.
know what? I give thanks
I give
every
thanks.
day. Thank you, Lord. Yes, yours. Yes, yours. Thank you. In this time, I'm getting my holidays mixed up,
Right.
of Valentine's.
Right.
And I guess the reason why it meshes like that, because I don't wait till
That's true.
the day. I don't wait till
Yeah, you're
till
right.
this day to show my love, my
Yeah,
affection, my
right.
appreciation for you. So I don't lavish you only
Right.
on this day.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because
yeah,
some brothers having to break the bank right now, anticipating.
making up, build up.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But you don't have to do that.
No.
No. Well, I don't know. Some of the sisters might be mad at me for
Don't
saying
be
that.
putting
Don't
salt
put
in my
salt in my
game,
game.
First Lady.
I'm so
Don't be
sorry.
doing that, First Lady. Why you doing that?
You do what works for you. But as
Yeah.
for me and my house, it's a year-round thing. That from January to December, I feel like we try to make sure that we express in small and big ways how we feel about each other.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I thought about this. Can you remember? Can you remember? I'm asking you, put you on the spot. Can you remember uh, the anticipation of a phone call
Oh my.
or a letter when we're dating ourselves? This is
Yeah,
for
I know.
before text messages and
No,
Instagram
we didn't have any of that.
and Snapchats.
Snapchats. Right. Yeah, we didn't have any of that.
We had snail mail and all that.
Hmm.
But do you remember the anticipation?
I do. And
Of
I talk to our kids about this all the time because I want them to understand that it shouldn't be the same old.
no,
Like, I think back to Anita Baker, from beginning to end, 365 days of the year, I want the same old love. And the thing about it is, I remember how giddy I felt. Many of you might know our story, but briefly speaking, my husband and I met at a church youth event, and
tell it right. Tell it right.
I'm gonna leave out some of the little gory details because the brother looked bad if I put him out there like that. But anyway, he did at the end of the day, he asked for my address, and his brother got it for him from me. And I'm thinking, I'm not going to hear from him. This is summer, a youth conference. I'm not going to hear from him or anything like that. And that was on a Friday.
It's Friday.
It was on Friday.
It was a Friday.
And I got the letter from you when?
Monday.
Right.
Monday.
So basically, I felt like he went home right away and wrote the letter. And the sense of excitement that I felt, first of all, a sense of surprise because I wasn't expecting it at all. But even seeing it was from him, opening it, and just reading the words, I still remember a lot of them, even to this day. I think I even posted a little portion of that letter, on Facebook at some point. But I was so excited.
Mm-hmm.
And I think even now, looking back when we reflect on the time that we first met, we talk about that.
Yeah.
And we really kind of laugh at,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
how simple it really was.
It really was.
But, love shouldn't be complicated if you think about it anyway. So that's some good times, though.
So you remember that? You remember the spark of the first kiss?
I'm not going to tell these people that.
Do you know? Okay.
Yeah, I remember.
I remember where it was and how
how I didn't attack you.
how I tricked you to give me another one.
You
I said,
telling a lie.
let me tell you something. Let me see if you're still courting. She kissed you. Say, is that what you call a kiss?
Wow.
Is that what you call a kiss?
Okay.
And so she had to come
Prove.
back again. Prove. Okay. And so I remember all those things.
Yeah.
The and the agony of the last kiss.
Yeah.
Didn't want you to go.
Right.
Didn't want you to leave.
And we didn't have those daily visits or, like the people around us can get to each other really quickly and see one another when they're dating or courting. We lived 45 miles away from each other.
45 miles away.
Yeah. And so it wasn't that easy to see one another. And so those songs that we remember,
Yeah.
Guy and everybody else that we were listening to at the time,
Where
they
is the
lingered.
love?
Okay, see.
My mind. Hey.
They lingered,
Yeah.
in that quiet storm. You were just thinking about each other. And I see our little faces all glowing up now.
Oh, hasn't gone to.
See, he going in.
Okay.
Okay, stop.
So those moments, the initial, the tearing the seal off of the relationships,
Yeah.
the newness of it, is it's the stuff of euphoria. It's the stuff
It
that
is.
makes you like wow. I mean, I'm lighting up.
I know,
I'm
right. But think about this. I mean, the reason why we're bringing this up, because when we sit down and we talk with people about relationships, and a lot of times we have to do constructive, counseling, we always want to take them back,
yes.
because they come into us 5, 10, 20, 25 years into a relationship, and for whatever reason, there's some disconnect or whatever. And when they're at the point of, I just want to throw up my hands and be done with this,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, let's pull back the layers
Yes.
and go back in time to when we
Exactly.
first began,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. And so that we can get them talking about it, because then, of course, we're sitting on the other side looking at the faces lighting up,
Mm-hmm.
the memories starting to come back about what you had on and what you smelled like and what attracted me to you in the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where we want people to be.
Yes. Yes. Like you said, which is why we wanted to come with this at this point, because you're trying to rekindle some things. You're
Right.
trying to stir up, the fires, the embers, and one thing that we might not want to admit it, but it is true nevertheless. Relationships are continually evolving experiences that both parties have a responsibility for shaping and investing.
Come on. Right.
I mean,
You're right.
it's evolving,
Mm-hmm.
because the people we
It
were,
should.
it should be,
Mm-hmm.
because the people we were when we first got together, we're not those same people.
Mm-mm.
I mean, at the core,
Right.
but there's so many things that have changed.
Sure has.
Waistline has changed, and hair color has changed, and my God. We're our responsibility in the relationship is that we continue to
Mm-hmm.
evolve, that we're responsible for shaping and investing in what we're going to call a relationship.
Right. I agree
And
with that.
it's important. It's important. And one way to keep things fresh and to stay is to stay curious about your partner.
Mm-hmm.
To stay curious about your partner. I mean, yeah, you've known her since she was 17, or you've known her since college, or him since since your first job.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to stay curious. You got to
Yeah.
stay curious about who it is that you're connected to, who it is you're giving your heart to.
Mm-hmm.
I think the moment we figure we know a person, we stop.
Right.
We stop learning them, number one, and then we begin the slow, gradual grind of taking them for granted.
Yes, yes. And I think for a lot of couples, they get on autopilot.
Yes.
It's just like we just cruising at this point. Been there, done that. For some, raised the kids, did the jobs, all this other kind of stuff. And now we're just on autopilot. And then we lose time with each other.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is not good.
That's not good. That's not good. I'm gonna hand this back to you because you're gonna do the first two.
Oh, okay. All
But
right.
but the thing that what I wanted to say more to that is, in other words, keep learning your partner.
Yeah.
If you're married, keep learning your spouse. Keep
Write that
learning
down. Keep
them.
learning.
Keep learning them, because you say it all the time. You say it around my birthday. I've never been married to somebody this old before.
I don't say this old. I say your age.
That's not what I hear.
I've never been married to someone who's 48 and, 20 days old.
But that's significant, though. Because,
Yeah.
but it's so true. You've never, and you're saying, my heart has never been here
Right.
with you.
Yeah.
And
And I think it goes back to what we talked about last week about flexibility. That I've never been here, but I want to be flexible enough to recognize that you're changing, or that you may have things that you didn't think of, or that you didn't, ways that you didn't think, in previous times or in previous ages. And I'm trying to acknowledge that
Yeah.
I'm aware of that.
But it's that learning.
Yeah.
Keep an open page
Yeah.
for where your spouse or your partner is, because they're not the same people. We say it. I mean, we say it every time we counsel, couples who want to get married. Take a look at them, because the person you see today will not be the person you marry.
Right.
That's just 4 months out, because we're always changing. I find it, and I don't want to harbor too much on this, but I find it really, really odd that we'll demand change, or demand grace to change in every other area except this one.
That's true.
Yeah.
We're not very forgiving with each other.
You have to keep learning your spouse.
I
You
agree.
gotta keep learning.
Yes, yes,
Keep learning your spouse.
yes.
All right. So I'll let you go ahead
All
and get into
right.
that.
So the first thing we want to talk about is remember that he is still your boyfriend, she is still your girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some people may say, oh, we've been past that stage, we 15, 20 years into this thing. But I think it keeps your perspective right. It
Yeah.
keeps your relationship fresh. That's why we say it's important to think back, remember those first dates. I have friends, and we're the same, who may have the ticket stubs from, a movie or something that you went to at some point, a concert. It's good to hold on to those things and pull them out every now and then. We're in a new time now where we get to save pictures on our phones and stuff. And in our house, we've been trying to do a lot better with getting them off the phone and putting them on the wall, and so that we can actually really see the memories and not have to search them out, through rows and rows of phone footage. But it's important to maximize all of that. And remember, like I'm sitting across from my husband right now, but I feel like I'm looking at my boyfriend because he got that baseball cap on.
You better
And
believe
when I met him at 17,
it.
that's how he looked. Now, he ain't had this part,
No,
you know.
didn't have the Grady
We ain't
Wilson.
had a Grady Wilson going on, but he always had a baseball cap on. And so when I walk in the house, or if I come up on him, we're out and about, and I see him and he's got a baseball cap on, oh my, I get a little giddy because I'm like, that's my boyfriend. What?
Yes. Yes, 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 yes.
Right. And it's important equally on the other side for men to be able to see their girlfriend still in
Exactly.
their wives.
Exactly. Exactly. I think you have to because they're still there.
Hmm.
And then we say that, and underneath the mortgage and the car payment and tuition and track practice and AAU and junior Olympics, all of that.
Whatever.
You're still my girl. My
Right.
girlfriend is still there. I remember something my dad would always say, and I look at it now. Whenever things started getting, and I guess it was just a jolt to the system. I guess it was a just like the GFI switch on your electricity. It trips before something gets damaged.
Hmm.
He would say, I remember he would say it, and almost like it inopportune. It made no sense when he said it. He said, "She was my woman before she was your mama,"
Oh, come on. And we use that, don't we?
and I use it because I recognize what he meant now.
Right. You're
He
right.
said, he's saying, "You're not going. I'm not going to allow you." And here's my interpretation. I'm not going to allow you to take my woman from me.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, she gave birth to you,
Yeah.
and she cooks and she provides for you, but she is still my
My
woman.
woman, right?
My
And I
woman.
love that because it sets boundaries.
Ah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
yeah.
so important because I have so many women, especially if I say, oh, maybe you should go on a date with your husband or something like that. I don't have time to date. We got kids, we got this, we got that. And it's like, but you don't have time not to date.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I'm really not trying to bring a sense of heaviness on this, but I'm telling you, in this time that we're living in right now, I probably got 3 pop-ups on my phone this afternoon about people of influence, celebrities or whatever who have transitioned up out of here, and somebody in their life may have thought, we don't have time, anymore, or I don't have time to date and stuff like that, and it's like, well, you really don't now,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
so it's important for us to maximize moments, when we can. And it may just be, let's run up to McDonald's and get a large order of fries and share them in the car together before we go in here and look at these kids together, whatever. Sometimes we got to sneak some fries because this is ours,
Yes.
and just really, really being intentional about the times that we spend with each other, and recognizing that dating and courting, making each other feel special in those ways is so very important,
It
and it's
is.
doable.
It is.
It
It
really
is.
is doable.
It
It
is.
might even just be, somebody may say, well, it's not really a date walking up the street, like in the evening, maybe walking a block together. But if it's going to force you to just be together and maybe share some conversation, hold a hand or something like that. It can be a date walk
Yes, it can.
if you want it to be.
Yes, it can. I mean, yeah,
Be creative.
and especially those who've been in relationship
Right.
for a while, and you're still learning. You know what they like.
Yeah.
Surprise them with what they like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hey, let's go. Let's go somewhere, and I'll buy you what you like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially we still at this boyfriend girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have much money when
Come
we started
on.
dating.
For real. How quickly
Yes.
we
We
forget.
go to Wendy's. Girl,
That was
it
our-
was splurging when we went to Wendy's.
We went to Wendy's.
Wendy's was the joint. You know, other
I
than
got you
that,
that 99-cent Frosty.
shoot, other than that, it was a Happy Meal, girl.
Right.
But you didn't have it then,
Right.
and it was enough.
It was enough. Mm-hmm.
What mattered was the connection.
Yeah.
It was the connection.
It was the connection. And I think people lose sight of that because they want to go to the Outbacks. They want to go to the Sweetwaters. They want to be able to really wine and dine one another.
All
And
good
it's-
places.
All good places, of course. But if you doing the best you can on the level
On the
you're
level
on.
that you're on.
You know, so if the level that you're on is, rewards from Chick-fil-A, because
I got 30,000 points.
and I just got us a meal with it. You do what you got to do.
Yeah,
But the
yeah.
point is being together.
Yes,
Leaving little notes. Sometimes in the mornings, how nice it is to just find a Post-it with "I love you" on it or something like that. It just really can make a day,
It can. It can.
right?
Yeah.
All right, so that's a good segue into practice presence.
Yes.
Now, some people may say, if I'm with you, I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really not that simple, because sometimes it's very easy for you to be with me but not really be with me, because what's on in our house, maybe Law and Order or CSI or something.
NCIS.
NCIS. Okay, so if
New
you
Orleans.
are engrossed in NCIS, I'm probably not going to come in and say, will you snuggle with me, boo? I'm probably not, because I'm mindful of the fact that that's something that you're enjoying at that moment, and I'm going to suppress my neediness. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm going to recognize that. But if we have come together and said, okay, we're going to spend some time together this evening, then either one of us should expect full-on attention from the other one. And so we might have to unplug the phone, silence the phone, put it away, leave it upstairs or something like that, so that our focus is on one another.
Yeah.
And it's so easy that, yes, technology and all these things can be a distraction, but so can children, so can a job, so can other responsibilities, to the point to where our spouse doesn't feel like we are there.
Yeah.
And that's a scary place
That's
to be.
something we see a lot. Something we see and we talk and we counsel people through a lot, because sometimes you get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
But yeah, the presence. I'm here.
Fully engaged.
I'm here. Yeah. You said something. Was it? You were talking about something today when you came in. When you came in today, and I was on the computer making some final stuff, and I said, I've caught myself. I didn't really hear what she said,
Oh.
and I stopped,
Uh-huh.
and I turned and I faced you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was you were at the kitchen sink.
Yeah.
I was at the I turned and I faced you.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you recognize but
I'm glad it registered with you.
But yeah,
Because actually, remember back to what we talked about last week, I hear you, but I'm not listening.
Yeah.
And so we can hear the chatter, we can hear the cry for connection, and everything, but not really be listening to what our spouse is saying.
Yeah.
I want to spend time with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's so very important that we respond to it.
It is so very important. What we got next?
Showing gratitude.
Showing gratitude. Showing gratitude.
Yeah.
It's about appreciating your partner. Again, we've said it. We've talked around not taking them for granted, not assuming that everything is just going to go
Yeah.
the way it's
It
going
happens.
to go.
Yeah.
One of my mentors says that that to be taken for granted is the greatest compliment. Don't it, he said it doesn't feel good. But what they're saying is you've been so consistent for so long that I don't even consider what it takes for you to do what you do as well as you do it.
That's true.
So
I
he
can
says,
see
yeah,
that.
to be taken for granted is the greatest compliment. Like
Yeah.
you're always gonna be there. You're gonna be like old faithful. And sometimes we find ourselves doing that to our spouse. You know, assuming that it's just gonna be this way, assuming that you're always gonna be here. You're always gonna be the one to take care of this and do that. But showing gratitude is saying, thank you,
Yeah. Yeah.
thank you,
Thank you goes a long way.
thank you.
Yes.
It's amazing how we'll say that to strangers, but won't say that to our loved ones.
Yeah.
Well, they know I appreciate it. No, say it.
Yeah.
Make it be known. Thank you. It's a simple thank you.
And sometimes it's even, I can remember, you might remember this too, talking to someone who they were asked, what are you doing tonight? And it was babysitting the kids. And I'm like,
You got upset.
What?
You got
How you babysitting your own kids?
How you babysitting your own?
How does that work?